So I'm officially one of those people that has a better relationship with their ex-husband than I did when I was married to him. Forgive me while I eat my feelings. And I would like meet other people out in the wild that had this kind of relationship with like an ex-husband, and I would be like, well then why are you divorced? I can call him and he'll pick up. I can have a conversation with him and he'll hear me. And I don't know how to put it in words, but I can tell you I wasn't good with him when I was married, but we have an incredible friendship and I'm so grateful for it. Maybe it doesn't make sense to you, but it makes sense to me. Some people aren't meant to be coupled. Pretty sure I'm one of them. And one of you out there is going to put it in better words than I can. You don't have to be married to someone to have a really amazing relationship with them. Sometimes you are married to them and then you get divorced and it's a whole big thing and then you become friends and it's better than it ever was. So yeah, that's officially what I am now.
We're done here.
Oh, wow, Queen. So you're saying that your ex-husband, you can call him and he will pick up and you can have a conversation with him and he'll hear you out. You see, when you tried to redefine being single there after divorce, that's real simple. Just say that he's your F-buddy. He's your special friend with benefits. See, he's a friend with benefits that got to know you a lot better. But then let's just be honest. You were nagging and annoying when you were married to him. You got into like total nagging wife mode. You nagged the hell out of him. And he was just thinking, listen, when we were just dating and we were just rolling in the sheets and just going out and having a good time, things were perfect. The moment I gave you the title of wife, things fell apart because you don't know how to be a wife. So sure, we'll just downgrade it back to what you know how to be. The girl that I could sleep with, the girl that I can call up when I'm backed up and say, hey, I want to hear you out tonight. Can I come over? Oh, sure, come on over. He empties out his pipes. Maybe he cuts the lawn for you or fixes your car. You know, gives you that little side bonus thing just to keep you there. So you decide that you don't want to get married to another guy. And who knows, your ex-husband probably already has another relationship. He's probably living with somebody else. He's probably already married. But, you know, some women are just meant to be side chicks. Before we move on, I want to say thank you, fam, to all of my subscribers for supporting this channel. I truly appreciate all of you who leave comments, who like my videos, and share them on other social media platforms. I truly gotta say thanks, fam. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. And for those of you who haven't subscribed yet, I thank you for tuning in, and I hope you decide to hit that subscribe button. Moving on!
There is a huge risk to living alone that no one is talking about, and it's not loneliness or safety, it's selfishness. Hear me out. When you live alone, you can do whatever you want. Leave the dishes in the sink for 3 days, no one cares. Stay in your pajamas and rot on the couch all Saturday long, no one questions that. You don't have to consider anyone else's time, energy, or emotional space. And yes, that feels amazing, but it does come with a cost. The cost is friction, the healthy kind. When there is no one around to challenge your habits, your assumptions, your way of thinking, the risk is that you stop growing. You stop seeing where you might be off base. You slowly become convinced that your way is the best way, the only way. Without friction, there is no refinement. Without accountability, there's no self-awareness. And without relationship, there's no one there holding a mirror up to us, showing us who we really are and showing us our blind spots. So if you've been living alone since your divorce, I get it. It's amazing. But we have to be aware of the dangers, which means we have to seek honest mirrors, relationships where people can lovingly challenge our way of thinking. We must go out of our way to practice intentional discomforts, things that interrupt our routine. And we must ask ourselves regularly, is this the best version of me, or is this just the most convenient and comfortable? Living alone can be healing, and there's so much peace and solitude that can come from that. But don't let it become a cocoon that keeps you from growing and turns you into a highly, highly selfish person.
Oh, she said that living by yourself is awesome because you can do whatever you want, and that's amazing. Except there's a problem. There's no friction because, as she said, she wants somebody to challenge her in a good way. See, that's the biggest difference between men and women there, Colleen. You see, men don't want to be challenged when they're home. They want to be left the F alone. I mean, yes, as a woman, you're thinking, oh, well, you know, it gets boring when nobody's here to tell me what to do or challenge me. Get me off the couch, get me off the bed. I need a man to challenge me and do that. That's why women in the long term, when they're alone, they start feeling very lonely. Men just feel alone. Men are like, hey, you know what? It's Saturday morning. I could either get up, go for an early hike, or just sleep in. Well, I worked really late last night, so I'm sleeping in. And there isn't a Colleen there. It's telling him to get up and cut the lawn or anything like that. And I'm pretty sure my female viewers are going to think, well, that's a healthy kind of challenge, you know? Like she said. No, it's not. The way the man sees it is, that's an unhealthy kind of nagging. Men and women think about things very differently. just because you want to be challenged, just because you want a man to plan things out for you, doesn't mean that a man wants a woman to pull him out of bed, nag him on his day off, and tell him what to do. Very different. It's not healthy in any way, shape, or form. Men are just going to tell you, shut up, stop the nagging. And it's not lost on this gorilla that she actually said, without accountability. In other words, one more time, women outsource accountability onto men. If there's no men there to hold them accountable, they're not going to hold themselves accountable. Hey, she said it, not me. I mean, come on, Queen, you're beating around the bush here. Just be completely transparent with the whole thing. The thing that you mean with this message is that women, when they live alone long enough, they get lazy. They don't repair things. There's very little to, if any, maintenance done on the home. That was always outsourced to a man. And you're saying, oh, well, I got to be the best version of myself. I got to do this and that. No. Say what it is. Men are the ones who maintain the home. Yes, you clean it, but you don't maintain it. This is why, after X amount of years of living alone, women are saying that they miss having a man around. Yeah, because it's really tough to cut the lawn and do the handyman work around the house. But don't worry, sister. Since they're developing AI robots for men, eventually they're going to get around to doing an AI handyman for women. Moving on.
So someone in the divorce club just posted about how they were in a relationship with their husband for their entire 20s decade. And then now they're getting divorced at 30. And I can totally relate because that is basically my same timeline. And the feeling of being with someone your entire adulthood, your entire 20s, and then to start your 30s completely on your own is scary. It's jarring. It's so uncertain. You truly don't know how to act. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to do a lot of things because you've shared the responsibilities of adulthood with this person. So if anyone is experiencing entering your 30s completely on your own, I am with you. And so are other girls in the divorce club. It's a wild time, but I will say now that I'm 33, a couple years post-divorce, a couple years post-30, it is also a really beautiful time. And I am actually thrilled to be single in my 30s, proud to be 33 and single, and I truly think the world is my oyster. And it is completely up to me on what I do next. And I'm not kind of sharing my future plans with someone. As much as I loved that, it's also kind of nice to be completely responsible for my future and everything I do each day.
The chat was great.
Whoa. Hold up there, Queen. Did you just say that now in your 30s, you're redefining yourself and you're finding freedom in adulthood? In other words, you were married all throughout your 20s and a guy took care of you. He did what a husband does. He paid the bills. He made sure that the household was there. Everything that you needed was taken care of. And now that you're in your 30s and doing it on your own, now you feel like an adult? Oh, gee whiz. What happened when you turned 18? Well, let me guess. You still felt like you were still in high school. Oh, well then, welcome to the post-wall world of being a single female. And you're 33 and, oh yeah, it's awesome now that you call your own shots and you have all this freedom. Guess what, Queen? It's called the wall for a reason. You smashed through it 3 years ago. That egg carton is getting lower and lower. And you said that you have control of your own destiny. You do. That is absolutely true. So what are you going to do? Freeze your eggs because you want to keep this freedom going until your 50s? You want to keep living the party lifestyle now that you're an adult on your own? That's the attitude of a person who is in her early to mid 20s, not a person who's 33. What you should be thinking is, okay, where do I go to next? Not, oh, I have all this freedom and it's so empowering. Set that to the side. There's this thing called reality, your life. Do you have a 5-year plan? Hell, I doubt you have a 2-week plan. The point is, this is not the time for you to say, hey, yeah, it's the greatest time to have a party. You're 33, Queen. This is the time for you to say, okay, the egg carton that used to be having like a dozen eggs is down to like its last 3 eggs. Do I want to have kids? Because if I do, I got to get to work on that. Find the guy who's going to have my children. And that's assuming you don't have any kids right now, because it sounds like you don't. Because if you would have, you would have mentioned in the video. But then again, don't worry, Colleen. You just keep drinking that womanist Kool-Aid. And before you know it, you're 45, alone, with a half dozen cats, and a laundry list of wines that you like. Moving on.
One thing that I don't think we talk about nearly enough is the difference in when men and women try to fix their relationships. Because women will try to fix it before it falls apart, but men will try to fix it after it's already been broken. And of course, this can be a generalization, but let me just explain what I mean. When a relationship starts to break down, women will usually try to find a way to stop it. So they'll tell their partners that they've had enough and that something needs to change. But that phase can only last so long, Because even if they start by communicating their needs, they'll stop if those needs aren't being met or if it starts an argument every time they do. So they just stop talking altogether. And they feel themselves shutting down, losing attraction, and building resentment for the man that they once loved as a result. And that's when most women will either start threatening to leave or will start to grieve the relationship until they eventually go numb. But a lot of men won't listen to those warnings. And they'll only acknowledge that there's a problem once their wife is either left or refuses to have sex with them. And he'll often act like he didn't even know there were problems, despite the fact that she was probably trying to communicate them for years. And even then, they don't really think about how to save the relationship. They just think about how to make her stay or how to make her want to be intimate again. So they say all the right things and make all the big promises until you give in, because getting back to normal is the goal, even if the norm looks an awful lot like misery. And a lot of women will choose to go back during this time, because he's finally saying everything that she's always wanted to hear. And she'll think that him actually paying attention means that he's finally taking her seriously, because we're taught this toxic principle that some people just don't know what they have until it's gone. But a lot of those men will revert right back to their old ways as soon as they get what they want, because they don't have to follow through if the problem is fixed as far as they're concerned. The sad part is that we don't want to hate the man that we love, and we don't want to resent him. So we do everything we can in order to stop ourselves from getting there. We try to fix it before we don't want to be touched. But you don't want to listen until we refuse to let you touch us. And we try to talk to you before we file divorce papers. But you don't want to listen until you're begging us to rip them up. So please just listen to her when she talks, because I promise that it's a lot easier to fix it when the love is still there. But it can be almost impossible to fix it once the love is gone.
Oh, this Colleen said that women try to fix relationships before it falls apart, but men try to fix relationships after it falls apart. Correction there, Colleen. See, women try to fix relationships before it falls apart in their brains, in their heads. The relationship is falling apart, and they move things the way they think they're moving it to fix it. In other words, they want the man to read their minds to fix things the way they want them fixed because of their wants. And if he doesn't pick up on it, oh, well, she's going to justify cheating on him. She's going to justify breaking up with him. She's going to justify doing him everything else. So don't act like women come out and say, hey, you know what? This is 100% of the way how to fix things. No. What they do is they address the things that they don't like, the majority of the time indirectly, the minority of the time directly. And when a guy comes out and says, hey, you know what? I'm providing everything that you need. I'm doing everything. Oh, well, you know what? I need this, this, and that to fix a relationship. And then men will look at it as like, wait a minute, hold up a second. Pause there. Let's look at this logically. Housing, I pay for it. That's a need. Check. Food on the table, I pay for it. That's a need. Check. Bills being paid, I pay for it. That's a need. Check. Maintenance of the home, I do that. That's a need. Check. Maintenance of the cars, I do that. That's a need. Check. Healthcare, dental care, vision care, all that, I pay for it. That's a need. Check. And you come out and you said, well, I need you to be more emotionally available. Do you need that to survive? No, that's a want. That's not a need. So you want me to do these things so the relationship is more perfect in your eyes, but I'm the same guy you married. I'm still that guy. I haven't really changed that much. So you're complaining that I haven't changed to evolve your wants, not your needs. That's how we fix this relationship. Sorry, Colleen. This gorilla doesn't beat around the bush. He's very direct on it. Most men meet the needs. Now, a guy who doesn't pay the bills and doesn't do his part, yeah, talk about him all day. But don't pretend like that's a majority there, sister. No, that's a small minority. The vast majority of men who are married meet the needs of the relationship. What you're complaining about is the wants, specifically the female wants. Now, does that mean that this gorilla is saying that wants shouldn't be met? Of course not. Absolutely not. You know what? This gorilla is going to go on record and say one thing. A want that 99% of men who are married have is bedroom fun. Not going to sugarcoat it. Is that needed for everybody's survival? No, it's not. It's a big want that men have in the forefront. So if this gorilla can admit, hey, you know what? I can give you that point. Can you give me the point of, hey, the vast majority of these wants that these women demand for the relationship to go on are not all on the same level. Some of those wants are very important, but a lot of those are very minor. But in a Colleen's head, if you add up all the minor ones, bam, it's a major one, justifiable, because this other guy is giving me these wants. Because this other guy that she met at a coffee shop is giving her all the wants. And, he's super sweet and he's talking to me the way I want to be talked to. Justify cheating on my husband, even though my husband is the one who's paying for 100% of all the bills. And this guy's just talking to me. But hey, relationship's dead. I'm justifying it. I'm going to cheat on my husband with this new guy. Yeah, because that's how she fixed it before it broke up, right? Like I said, The vast majority of women have things falling apart and trying to fix things in their heads, not in the actual relationship. They only go to a certain point in the relationship, but only address the wants and call the wants needs. And like this Colleen said, a lot of people don't know what they got until it's gone. Hey sister, you know that's a double-edged sword. You're just thinking about the female immediate fifi side. In other words, the short term. You don't think about the long term. In the short term, you're like, well, I'm going to divorce you, and you're not going to know what you got until it's gone. Once I'm divorced, you feel that, now you're on your own, and I'm liberated. Sure, short term, you got it. Now, let's fast forward about 3 to 5 years down the road. Now it's the femme fatales. It's all these women who are married, who are going through rough patches, who decide to listen to Colleens like you, are like, oh man, oh no, I regret divorcing my husband. I didn't know it was going to be this rough. I've been divorced 3 years, I've been divorced 5 years. Things have gotten a lot tougher. Being on my own isn't as fantastic as I thought it would be. Hopefully, he'll take me back. 9 times out of 10, the guy's like, nah, I'm good. Bye. This gorilla also likes the fact that at the end you inject it, you try to fix it before you don't want to be touched, and you try to fix it before you put in for divorce. Hey sister, you know that goes both ways, right? Men are trying to tell you, hey, check this out, but you don't want to listen until 3 years after your divorce, until 5 years after your divorce. When you're a single mom, you find yourself back on the carousel and every guy that you date just wants to take you to Pound Town, power drive you through every mattress they can find and not commit. But don't worry, Colleen. You know what can commit to you? Those furry little creatures that run around and say meow. It's kind of funny that you prefer to be the servants and the providers for a small furry creature rather than to serve a man who will provide for you.
You're goddamn right.
I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.